Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. There's a magazine in Israel. It's published by Messianic Jews. It's entitled Israel Today. It's a very good magazine. They have it on the web, but they also have a magazine. I receive it every month. They're quoting an article in the June edition. They're quoting an article from Israel Hayom, a newspaper, an Israeli newspaper. I want to read excerpts from it. This is a prelude, a preview, if you will, of coming attractions. Israeli professor says New Testament is a Jewish text. A prominent Israeli professor writing in the Free Israeli daily newspaper Israel Hayom continues the trend of Jews both here and abroad reclaiming Jesus and even the New Testament as their own. Jews claiming the New Testament as their own. Professor Eyal Regev, head of the Land of Israel Studies and the Archaeology Department at Bar Ilan University, writes that while most Jews might not believe the New Testament or Jesus' claims of his messiahship, it is now indisputable. It is now indisputable among most Jews that the movement that became Christianity was originally Jewish to the core. Indisputable among most Jews that the movement that became Christianity was originally Jewish to the core. The book of the New Testament, the Gospels, that tell the story of Jesus' life and teaching, the epistles of Paul and other writings contain many quotes from the Pentateuch, as well as sermons peppered with the spirit of Second Temple Judaism, says Regev. The professor continues, the New Testament writings, as bizarre as they might appear to a Jew who does not believe in Jesus, are Jewish conceptions, compositions, Jewish compositions. Now listen to this. He even acknowledges that it was not the original intent of the followers of Jesus to break away from Judaism and form a separate religion. That's very true. The term church, as we know it, is not found in the Scriptures. It is never capitalized. It's a common noun. It's not a proper noun, or it's a collective noun. A better translation would be assembly or congregation. And that's exactly what Jesus said he would build, his congregation. Church, the term church has been institutionalized. It's been denominationalized, and as a result, it's separated itself from its moorings, its religious moorings, which is biblical Judaism. Not rabbinic Judaism, but biblical Judaism. Regev goes on to applaud more and more Christians for coming to these conclusions, pointing out that it is not an easy process for the adherents and leaders of the world's largest religion. Such an acknowledgement would lead them to conclude that the Christian religion as we know it veered off the original path of Jesus, and that's exactly what happened. Veered off the original path of Jesus and his students, and that it does not have a claim to its most fundamental spiritual assets. No, our most fundamental spiritual assets are what God gave to Moses, the biblical Judaism, if you will. So this is where Jews are heading, and sooner or later it's where Christians will be heading as well. You know, this refers me back to a passage, I think we've talked of this before, in Acts chapter 3, at the conclusion of Peter's sermon. It says that Jesus must remain in heaven until the time comes for God to restore everything. Restore. What was the original store? Well, the Council of Nicaea in 325 A.D. divorced and separated as much as possible what they called Christianity from Judaism. Easter was created, and Passover was negated. Theretofore, it had been the same time. The Saturday Sabbath, seventh-day Sabbath, was divorced, and in its place was given Sunday and the Lord's Day. And there was a whole series of things in the Council of Nicaea where there was a concentrated attempt to divorce itself from Judaism. That's not going to continue. God will restore everything. Even Jesus says in Revelation chapter 21, it says, it's telling about the future ruling and reigning of Jesus on earth. Now the dwelling of God is with men. He will live with them. They will be his people. God himself will be with them, and he will be their God. This is chapter 21, verse 3. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And he who was seated on the throne said, I'm making everything new. That's what's happening. That's what will be happening. It's not going to happen until Jesus comes. So don't try to force it to happen. But there's going to be a change. The Christianity, we know it, has been institutionalized, totally foreign from the Scriptures, and it's been denominationalized. The term church is used in the gospel twice, Matthew 16, Matthew 18, and it should more favorably be translated as congregation. That's the only place. If this were so important, why didn't Jesus speak on it and teach on it? But he didn't. He has to remain in heaven, the Scriptures tell us, until the time comes for God to restore everything. It's coming. It's coming. I'm eager to see it. I hope you are. Till next week, Od Ki Yavoshilo, or until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem. Peace be to you.